welcome back to the channel. Today we went to the big beef bowl. So this is one of my go-to spots for hand-pulled noodles, like Chinese style. So I got the braised beef with flat regular noodles. So when you go to this place, you have the option to choose whatever type of noodle style you like, whether it be flat or round. And then you can also choose a thickness. So it could be really thin, normal, which is like what you would typically find at a restaurant, or you can have it really thick if that's the style that you like, but it lets you change that up so that you have different textures when you're eating, and not just like every time you go there's the same noodle. You get a different one every time if you want to. If you have a go-to, you can do that too, and just like, hey, you can kind of customize it to the way you like. They have other flavors as well in terms of soup base, in terms of toppings, so you can explore the menu. I'll link it down in the description below, and you can go check that out. So first thing we're gonna try right now is that noodle. It looks really good. Like when you look at some of the pieces of the beef brisket, walls apart, no problem. It's so tender, so soft, and it carries so much flavor. It's like a very savory, it almost tastes like 5 spice, star anise. You can taste some of that in it. Has some of these radishes, a nice light refreshing vegetable. So first sip of that soup. So much of that beef flavor. I'm pretty confident it's a beef broth, and it carries so much flavor in it. I love drinking this soup, but another thing you could do if you like is make it spicier. So they always give you chili oil. We got that here. I'll maybe add some later after I eat it a little bit, and I'll tell you how that tastes with it mixed in. Whenever you go to a noodles place, like I feel like the most important things that you always gotta look for is a really good broth. So this one's super tasty, super flavorful, filled with spices and herbs. Like there's a slight little bit of spice to this one. It's not like neutral. So if you're one of those people that think pepper is spicy, you might feel like this is spicy too. But to me, this is like somebody just like grazed me. That's how soft the spice is to me. But the flavors are delicious. It's filled with that like the beef flavor after being like brewed for so long and boiled for so long. So this is what regular flat noodles look like. Let's give it a first bite. Nice and chewy. And you can tell that it's actually really hand pulled and not done by a machine. Here you got like a little thicker, here you got a little thinner. So you can see that it's made freshly every single day at the restaurant. They boil it in hot water and it comes out nice and tender, or like al dente, I guess, if you want to use an Italian term. But it comes out nicely, ready to eat, and it has such a nice texture to it, and because they made it so nicely, it goes really well with the soup. So that flavor from the soup transfers onto the noodles, and it's so delicious. This is one of my favorite like beef brisket noodle places, like hand pulled noodles. I don't think this is necessarily like a Taiwanese style noodle, like there's a Taiwanese beef brisket soup. This is a different style. I think there's more of a Chinese, like a mainland China style, but this is really, really great, and I love the flavors coming out of this. The beef brisket is so nice and tender. It's like, it falls right apart. Like, look at that. You stretch it a little bit, it comes right off. If you think you're missing some of that vegetable, it comes with some bok choy. Some delicious bok choy. But whenever you go to one of these restaurants, they always give you a bottle of chili oil, or like this little container of chili oil. At the restaurant, they'll have it on the side on every single table, so you can always have access to it. And we're just gonna pop and put in some of that chili oil. For me, usually I just like picking out all of the chilies out of it and spreading it around. I don't necessarily like adding the oil, but that's how they like get the aromas and the flavors out of the chili peppers. Wind's so powerful today. Just mix it up with all of that nice chili oil. This is gonna have a completely different profile to it now. So now when you're eating it, you have that same strong beef flavor, but the chili oil adds another layer of just that kick of flavor, some heat, so that after you take that sip of soup, that heat lingers on your mouth. It's very delicious flavor. Like, because it's been fried up in that oil, the flavors have just opened right up. Like all of those dry chilies or those like chili seeds, they've all just been opened up. All the flavors have popped out, and you get that like kick of flavor once you eat a bite with any of that chili oil in it. Also got some side dishes with this noodle. So one of my favorites right here is slices of braised beef and tripe. So they've all been like braised, and they've all been cooked really nicely, and they become very tender. And what they did is they mixed it in with a ton of chili oil. So if you look, like the bottom of this has so much like oil and chilies. It looks really spicy. They've been like soaking in this for a while now. That flavor's really integrated into there. And I'm gonna take a bite and I'll let you know if it's too spicy or if it's not. So here first, let's grab like a slice of beef. Such good flavors. This flavor is so good. I love the flavors coming out of this. It's nice and spicy. Like, and don't get me wrong, it's not really hot. If you can take like a mild hot sauce, this is kind of how spicy it is. And the beautiful thing about this is, like, there is that spice, but there's also tons and tons of flavor. So you get like almost like a nuttiness out of it. You get that nice flavor of beef coming through as well. It's not overpowering the beef at all. It just complements it really, really well. And next we got the tripe. I think tripe's the inner layer of the stomach, and it's been cooked really nicely. Let's take a bite. You can hear it. It's like nice and chewy. There's almost like a gelatin-like texture towards it. And like, if you've never had it, this might be a little odd for you, but it honestly, to me, tastes really, really great. You can find it in pho and like some other dishes as well. But tripe has a really nice texture to it. It captures in a lot of that flavor, and it has its own like juice profile. So the flavors pop once you bite into it. That gelatin releases some of that flavor, and you get that mixed in again with that flavor of the chili oil that just adds, like, it really complements it well. This generally comes as a cold dish on the side. So whatever you're eating, whether it be rice, noodles, whatever it might be, this can go really nicely right on the side. Every couple bites of that noodle, grab a slice of beef, some nice chili oil beef, and like, it's a delicious complement to any type of meal, any main that you have. This is a tremendous complement. So good. I also got this thing called sangji. So it's like a fried pork dumpling, or fried pork bao if you want to call it that. So get a fresh one here. So it's nicely fried up on the bottom, and because it's sealed up like this, it's like almost steaming the meat inside. So it releases all the juices out of the, I think it's beef or pork that's inside of here. So one thing before we start eating this, you might have seen I already started eating one, but one of the things that you have to remember when you're eating something like this is be careful of not just grabbing it and taking a giant bite out of it really quickly. It's filled with like really hot juices from the meat, so if you actually take a giant bite, you're gonna burn the hell out of your mouth. And it's happened to me, it's happened to some friends. And what's worse than that is sometimes you bite into it and a hole will pop on the other side and splash all your friends. So be careful, don't do that. One way to eat it, I'll show you now. What a lot of people like to do actually is take a bite out of it, like really tiny bite from the edge. And then you can pour out all of that juice, and then so that it doesn't splash around, right? You're gonna drink this, it's like a soup. Oh, really flavorful, so good. Oh, all of the flavors from that meat is just all concentrated into that juice. It's so delicious. But now you have a very, now you have a nice a nice dumpling that won't splatter and won't burn the hell out of you. Either way, just be careful when you're eating these things. The meat inside retains so much juice because it's just captured all into this wrapping. The bottom is nice and like a little bit crispy. The top has some like sesame seeds on it. Honestly, the wrapping for this bao or dumpling is made very nicely. It's like nice and thin on the top side, and then the fried side's a little thicker, obviously, because you're trying to fry it up. So it gets a little more cooked, but they've made it into a perfect ratio where the bottom's nice and crispy, but the insides are still nice and chewy, while the meat is just all the flavors captured up, and it's all captured right into this little package of joy. And you get to bite into it and experience all of the flavors that come out of it. It's just, this is a treat. If you have not got sangji and bao, I don't know what the hell you've been doing. Go get yourself some, try it, because this is bomb. Overall, what I think of this place, you saw that I enjoyed every single item from this meal, and this is honestly one of my go-to spots. I come here all the time. I bring friends and family. I come here alone even on my days off, and when I just really feel like some takeout. Just like today, I came out here because I really enjoy this meal. I want to share it all with you. I'll leave everything in the description box below so you can check them out as well if you haven't already. But please, in the comments down below, leave me some recommendations. What do you think I should eat? What would you like to see me review? I know I got Filipino food still on the list. Don't think I forgot that. That's coming your way. Hopefully soon. I'll see if I can make the time for it. Anyway, if you liked the video, please leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna keep doing lots and lots of food reviews so that you have tons of different options of foods that you could try out for yourself after you watch my videos. So until next time, peace.